All right, today we are going to go over an end of Module 2 review packet, and this is going to walk you through basically exactly what your end of module test is going to be like. Obviously, the numbers and the wording of the problems will be changed a little bit, but basically it's going to walk you through exactly what types of problems you're going to experience on the assessment here coming up tomorrow. So you'll have a packet. This is the packet today that we're going to do in the video that is the same one you'll do in class, and then you'll have a different one for homework. And again, both of these are going to go over things that are very similar to what you'll see on the assessment. So it's going to review all the concepts that we covered in Module 2, and let's dive right in now and take a look at some of these sample problems. Today I'm going to work in pen or marker on an actual sheet of paper. So I know that it will be slightly blurry for you, but hopefully you can see okay. It says, the first one says, Gabby planned a pool party for all her friends. She ordered a bunch of sunscreen for the party. The total weight of all the sunscreen is shown on the scale, shown below on the scale. On a number line, round the total weight to the nearest 100 grams. So I always start by like, what do I need to do? And what I need to do is round the total weight to the nearest 100 grams. And the weight is right there. So I need to take that number. It says 589 grams. Okay, make sure that's not bleeding through onto the page below a little bit. So we'll move those out of the way for a minute. Okay, so 589 grams. I need to round that to the nearest 100s, and I need to do it on a number line. So we use a vertical number line in this case. Okay, so I look at the number 500 and I say, what's the if I counted up from 589, what's the next 100 I'd get to? And that would be 600. So I'd go, that goes at the top, 600. If I counted down from 589, then the next 100 I would hit would be 500. So those are my two options. The two endpoints on this number line are my only two options. 550 is right in the middle, and 589 is somewhere up here. We know that when we're rounding to the hundreds place, we look at the 10, and if the 10 is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we round up. In this case it is, so 589 is about 600 grams. Ideally, you'd then write a sentence saying it is about 600 grams. And that's how you do the first type of problem, rounding on a number line. Make sure, again, that you understand what the problem is, and make sure you understand whether it's asking you to round to the nearest 100 or the nearest 10. All right, the next problem here. So I hope that's relatively straight on your screen. Okay, it says Gabby also orders snacks for the party. She compares the weight of the hot dogs with the weight of the hamburgers. A package of hot dogs weighs 489 grams, and the package of hamburgers weighs 689 grams. What is the difference between the weight of the hot dogs and hamburgers? Anytime you see that word difference, I have a real hard time telling if that's straight for you guys. There you go. That's a clue that subtraction is what you're going to be doing. Anytime you're finding difference, you're doing subtraction. And so it's not asking me to round anything. It's just asking me to find difference. And so all I need to do is say 689 grams minus 489 grams, and I can subtract those. Okay. This one turns out to be really straightforward and simple because they both are 89. So 9 minus 9 is 0. 80 minus 80 is 0. And 600 minus 400 is 200. So the difference is 200 grams. And that's it. Again, make sure you understand. I had to go through here and make sure it wasn't asking me to round anything like that. It just wanted to know the difference. And so all you have to do is subtract. And that's it for the first page. 1 down, 3 to go. Let's take a look at page number 2. All right, hold on. I'm going to switch markers. Hold on. Stay with me for a second. first we had the problem of the my first marker was bleeding through from one page to the next, but now I'm looking at our kitchen table here and it's starting to bleed through to that. So we'll go with a Crayola instead. So the clock below shows what time it is now. Estimate the time to the nearest 10 minutes. Okay, so this is a rounding problem. Anytime you see estimate to the nearest 10 minutes, that's rounding. So a couple of things you need to be able to do accurately on a problem like this. First, you need to be able to tell what time it is. And second, you need to be able to round. So the time is going to go here on the clock. So I see that it's in the 1 o'clock hour, and we're at the 1 o'clock hour, and we're not quite to 30 minutes there. I would say that looks to me like 1:29. Okay, so now I need to figure out 1:29 is about what time. Okay, I need to round to the nearest 10 minutes, as it says right here. So I'm going to make it a vertical number line. It didn't say I had to, but it's going to help me. So I have the 10 above would be 130, and the 10 below would be 120. Okay. Right in the middle is 125, and we're up here at 129. Okay. Again, if we're rounding to the tens place, we have to look at that 1, and if that 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we're going to round up, like we will in this case. So it's about 130. All right, bear with me. We're going to do one more marker change. That one's running out of ink. All right. Third marker is a charm. Normally, if I was doing this on my whiteboard, I would have started the video over a couple of times now, but since I'm doing this on paper, I don't want to have to start over and do it again. So we'll just keep changing markers until we get one that works. Problem 2 says, let's bring it a little closer and see if maybe you can see that. The clock below shows the time that the pool party will begin. Estimate the time to the nearest 10 minutes. This is the same thing, like same type of problem as before. So we're going to look at the clock here, and we are going to see round it to the nearest 10 minutes. So it's still in the 12 o'clock hour. We haven't gotten to 1. We know we won't get to 1 until that minute hand gets all the way back up to the top. So it's still in the 12 o'clock hour, and it's like not quite 50 minutes, so I would say 49. So it's 12:49. Again, I'll draw myself a vertical number line. 12:50 would be the next 10, and 12:40 would be the last 10, with 12:45 being right in the middle, and again, 12:49 is right up there. Now, again, we're rounding to the nearest 10, so we look in the ones place. If that is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we round up, and it is. So 12:49 becomes 12:50. Obviously, on the vertical number line, you can see the 12:49 is much closer to 12:50 than it is to 12:40. And then down here, it says, use your answers from part A and B, so the last two things we rounded, to estimate how long Gabby has before the party begins. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this first one and say that this clock is probably not drawn correctly. I'm thinking they're thinking it's 12:29, which is a little bit strange the way they drew it, because as you can see, this is really still in the 1 o'clock hour, but we'll pretend it's 12:29 here. So we have subtracting here to find the difference in the time. So I have the party starts at 12:49, which is a very odd time for a party to start. And right now it is 12:29. So we subtract those things to find difference. 9 minus 9 is 0. 40 minus 20 is 20. And 12 minus 12 is 0. So 20 minutes. So from now till when the party starts, she has 20 minutes. I will say, I don't like that example very much. I don't like the way that this clock is drawn. because it's really misleading, showing that it's like the way that they drew the hour hand just isn't really great. So that one threw me off a little bit, and I promise I won't give you something like that on an assessment, because that would be really tricky to draw one like that for you. I'll make sure that yours looks better than that one. All right, here we go. Gabby plans for her friends to drink about 849 milliliters of lemonade each hour. Round to the nearest 10 milliliters to estimate how many milliliters of lemonade will be drank each hour. So she's saying 895 milliliters each hour. Okay, we're going to round to the nearest 10. So again, vertical number line. Some of you may not need a vertical number line at this point for rounding, but it's a good visual and it can certainly help. So I set it up like that. If I started at 895 and counted up, the next 10 I get to, the next thing that ends in 0 basically is 900. And if I start at 895 and count backwards, the next thing that ends in a 0, the next 10 is a 890 milliliters. And 895 is right in the middle. Okay, so this is our point. Now it's equidistant from the 2 points, like it's the same exact distance. And when that happens, you always round up. Anything that ends in a 5, if you're rounding to the nearest 10, you round up. So they're going to drink about 900 milliliters each hour. And you could write a sentence about that too. They will drink about 900 milliliters each hour. And that would be a very complete answer if you showed it this way. It says use your estimate to find out about how many milliliters of lemonade are drunk every 2 hours. Okay, well, I can do that. So your estimate, I'm using the estimate. So that means I take my 900. This is where you have to really read directions carefully. When it says use your estimate to find out about how many, that means you're not finding the exact amount yet. Now, the next decision you have to make is whether you're adding or subtracting. And in this case, if we drink about 900 milliliters in the first hour and another 900 milliliters in the second hour, that's adding. We can't take away the amount we already drank, so we're going to add to it. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 9 is 18. So my 8 goes here. Technically, I carry a 1 and then add it to nothing. So it turns out to 1,800 milliliters. You could again write a sentence for that as well. Now, calculate precisely. That's a word we've talked about in class. Precisely means exactly. And when you see that word, what that means is you need to use the original amount, the actual amount that they're going to be using. And again, it's how many they're going to drink every 2 hours. So 895 milliliters each hour. So we're going to add that to itself. 5 plus 5 is 0. Carry the 1, is 10, sorry. 5 plus 5 is 10. So 0 goes in the 1's place. A 1 goes in the 10's place. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 9 more is 19. So, and again, this is in the 10's place. So that's really 190. A 9 goes in the 10's place, and a 1 goes in the 100's place. 8 plus 8 is 16, or 800 plus 800 is 1,600. Plus 1 more 100 is 1,700. So 1,790 milliliters altogether is what exactly they would drink. And then it says draw a tape diagram to find the difference between your estimate and the precise calculation. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of tape diagrams in this situation. I would be satisfied with an answer that actually calculated the exact amount. So 1,800 minus 1,790, right? And I would expect you to show your work. This one's a little bit simpler, just because they're only 10 apart, and we already know that. But if you're not going to do a tape diagram, I would like to see you show all your work on this, even though you probably know the answer already. 0 minus 0 is 0. Again, we're measuring in milliliters. 0 minus 9 we can't do. If I have 0 of something, I can't give you 9 of it. So I come over here to the 8. turn it into a 700 and turn this 10 and this 0 into 10 tens. 10 tens minus 9 tens is 110. 700 minus 700 is 0, and 1000 minus 1000 is 0. So the difference is 10 milliliters. And again, you could draw a tape diagram to show that, and if you were going to do that, you'd basically have like, you could draw it this way. You draw this one like 1,800 milliliters, and then you could draw this one like 1,790, and then that would be 10. Oh, you can't even see that. Wow, you couldn't see any of that work. I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I'm so used to using the digital drawing tool that you can just see whatever I do. So I've done my addition here. Hopefully you're able to hear as I was doing it and imagine what I was doing since you couldn't see it. And then this is what your tape diagram could look like if you did draw it. All right, let's move on to the last page. Now I'll try to make sure I keep everything visible for you. Okay. Gabby lifts heavy boxes of pool toys and brings them to the pool. The weight of one box is 19 kilograms, so that's how much one box weighs. Gabby lifts 4 boxes of the same weight. Round to estimate the total weight she lifts, then calculate exactly. All right, so here we are talking about 19 kilograms. It makes no sense to round to the nearest 100 since that would be 0. We have to round to the nearest 10. So 19 kilograms is about 20 kilograms. Your options are either 10 kilograms or 20 kilograms, and 19 is clearly closer to 20 than it is to 10. So that's one box. But she lifts 4 boxes. Now, there's a number of different ways that you could go about this. You could draw a tape diagram. You could say that each weighs 20 and the total is 80 kilograms, or you could add 20, 20, 20, 20, and get 80 kilograms. So there's a bunch of different ways you go ahead and figure that out. And I'll leave it up to you since it doesn't say exactly how you have to do it. That's your call, whatever method you're most comfortable with. It says Gabby can easily lift 95 pounds all at once. Write and solve an equation to show the difference between the amount that of weight Gabby can lift all at once and the weight of the 4 boxes found in part A. Oh, I just noticed I almost lost credit on this on part A. I didn't read all the way through the problem, just like I always tell you guys to do. I only did the estimating part, but as I look back up here, it says then calculate exactly. So I should do 19, 19, 19, 19. So 9 times 4, or 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 36. So 6 goes there, 3 goes there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 76 kilograms. Okay. So she actually carried 76 kilograms, but she can carry 95. So I need to find out the difference. And again, that word difference means I need to subtract. So we put the bigger number on top, which is 95 kilogram. We're going to say kilograms here. They said pounds, but that's a mistake since the first one was measured in kilograms. And then we are going to subtract 76 kilograms. So again, we know our answer is going to be in kilograms, even though they threw us off with the pounds there. 5 minus 6. We can't do that without borrowing something. If I have $5, I can't give you 6 of it. That's how I'd like you guys to think of that. So I take my 90 and turn it into an 80, and then plus 10 ones. Sorry, 10 ones plus 5 ones is 15 ones. 15 minus 6 is 9, and 80 minus 70 is 1. So the difference between those two things is 19 kilograms, which coincidentally was the weight of 1 box. So she could have carried 1 more box if she had it. Gabby moves boxes for 12 minutes. If she starts at 2:25, what time did she finish? So again, this problem, we have a starting time and we have how long something takes. What we don't know is the ending time. So you can add those things. You could use a number line if you want as well, but I think the adding is a more straightforward way to go, and it also is more consistent with the work we've done recently. So 225 plus 12. Now here it's just important that you line things up. You line the minutes up under the minutes because that's what we're adding. We're adding 12 minutes to 25 minutes here. So 5 plus 2 is 7. 2 plus 1 or 20 plus 10 is 30. And it's still in the 2 o'clock hour. So she's done at 12:30 p.m. Again, I would expect you to write a sentence on that as well. And then the last problem here says Gabby pours chlorine into the pool. Gabby's a busy kid. She's done a lot of stuff here. The amount of chlorine she uses each week is shown to the right. How many milliliters of chlorine does she use over the course of 4 weeks? So I would say that she uses, it looks like 60 milliliters to me. So 60 milliliters each week. Okay. Now I need to figure out how much she uses in 4 weeks. So really that's 60 times 4. We're not doing that kind of multiplication yet. So I would expect you to do repeated addition here. You also, many of you may know that you could do 6 times 4 and then multiply that by 10. So I guess I'll show you both ways. The first way is 60, 60, 60, 60 for each of the 4 weeks and add them up. Zeros all along, so it's 0. And then 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 6 is 24. So 240 milliliters. Now the other way I could do that is I could say 4 times 60, which I then could turn into 4 times 6 times 10. I'd multiply my 4 and my 6 together to get 24 times 10 equals 240 milliliters. So we get the same answer either way. Whatever strategy you're more comfortable with is fine. You can do it either way. I hope that sort of quick explanation of the work that we're doing here in the end of Module 2 review was helpful to you. Again, you'll have gone through this in class and we'll have talked about some of these problems already, but if it's helpful for you as you prepare for our assessment and as you do your homework, which is another review packet, I hope this video and the explanations here were useful in that way and helping getting you ready. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, our end of module assessment is coming right up and you guys have been doing really well. You've studied really hard and asked a lot of great questions along the way. So I have no doubt that you're prepared and ready to show me what you know here at the end of this module so we can jump into module 3 here next week.